Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Elite Weather. My name is Mr. G. You're a meteorologist, and I am a student at Mississippi State University, majoring in meteorology and geoscience. So I'm just not some guy up here on the internet spreading misinformation about the weather. I happen to know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and we're going to jump into that weather forecast in just a moment. But first, we're going to talk about the lovely city here behind me. This is the city of Houston. I love the state of Texas, everybody, and I love Houston and Dallas, and I've loved visiting these places. I used to live in Dallas for a time back in the early 2000s. I lived in Dallas, Texas. I was radio DJ. Remember that? Yes, that's right. Mr. G, your boy has many talents here. So that's the city of Houston. But the skies are rather gloomy out there today. So a pretty gloomy day across the beautiful city of Houston, as we're going to expect a lot of rain along the Gulf Coast this week. So we're getting ready for the arrival of that storm system right off the coast, and that's going to spread heavy rain from Houston through New Orleans and into parts of West Florida as well. So Pensacola and Apalachicola, all the way to Tallahassee, we could see some heavy rainfall. We could pick up as much as 8 inches of rain along some portions of the immediate Gulf Coast. So that includes like Mobile, Alabama, and New Orleans. So we're going to see that heavy rain taking place out there as we have very gray skies, gloomy out there today. Very, very gloomy. So have a good day out there in Houston. It is rather comfortable as far as the temperatures are concerned right now. 61 degrees out there across the beautiful city. So you are at least comfortable as far as the temperature is concerned. I just wish you had a little bit more sunshine as it's rather gloomy out there. But you're going to get that much needed rainfall. I just hopefully it doesn't come too hard, too fast. So if we can mitigate flooding or anything like that. But that is definitely a possibility there in your weather forecast. And I have a question. Anybody know anything about green screens? Why I keep setting up here looking like a black Donald Trump every time I pull up a video of a cloudy city? For some reason, I look orange. I look like a black Donald Trump standing up here. So anybody tell me how to adjust the color? I'm not really. I try to adjust the color, and I keep looking orange when I get behind the camera. So I don't know if it's something with the backdrop or anything like that. So anybody with a bit of green screen knowledge and how to set these things up, fill me in on that so I can stop looking like Trump up here. So we're going to move on with the rest of the weather forecast, and we're going to also talk about Thanksgiving next week. Going to give a sneak peek into what you might be able to see, because a lot of things can change between now and then. But according to what we're seeing in the models right now, what Thanksgiving could look like across the country, and as far as your travel plans are concerned, Thanksgiving weekend. So let's move on with the rest of the weather forecast. All right, everybody. So as we move on with the rest of the national weather forecast here, I'm going to try this again. We tried this yesterday, and I'm going to do this part with the maps with me not standing on the camera so that you can see the map, and we're going to go over what we're going to expect to see as we head into the remainder of this week, and take a quick peek at the holiday forecast coming up as far as your travel is concerned. As we take a look at our first map here, what we're looking at is the early part of the week and what we're expecting across the country. And if you can take a look at the north central U.S. from Minnesota down through the plains and through parts of the Ohio Valley down toward the southeast, you can see where it says warming trend. So we're going to see really nice weather, very warm weather across those regions. So much of the Midwest down through parts of the Mid-South and the Appalachian Mountain Range toward the southeast, we're going to see very warm weather, and we're going to see nice weather conditions. In the northeast, things will be kind of ho-hum, but as we have a northwesterly flow along, so it's going to keep things chilly across New England, but you could see a few, maybe some isolated rain and snow showers in extreme northern New England. So through Maine, we might see a few snowflakes, a few raindrops from time to time. but it's not going to be very heavy, so very light precipitation. And then in the Pacific Northwest, Portland and Seattle, and along the immediate west coast on the western side of the Cascade Mountain Range, we're going to see that rain is across the Pacific Northwest. Very dry and very nice across the Southwest. Offshore flow, maybe some Santa Ana winds down across Southern California to start the early week as well. So we have the risk there for fire dangers. But our weather maker is going to be along the Gulf Coast, where an area of low pressure just off the coast there is going to spread heavy rain from Texas down through the south and the Gulf Coast. So that includes Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, parts of Georgia, and West Florida. Up to 8 inches of rain could fall across the Gulf Coast as well. So we're looking at some much needed rainfall along the Gulf Coast. So a pretty colorful weather scenario for the early part of the week. We got a developing storm on the West Coast, and into Tuesday we're going to be seeing some measurable rainfall, but the heaviest rain is going to fortunately remain offshore, but we're going to see a lot of wind with this storm system as well. So windy and showery as well. So showers along the immediate coast from the Bay Area to Seattle and the U.S. and Canadian border. So that rain will extend all the way up to Vancouver and Victoria, Canada. So we're going to see that rain showers in the early part of the week into Tuesday along the West Coast, as we have a strengthening jet stream and a deepening trough in the jet stream, and that low pressure off the coast of Oregon and California is going to help to do this, and it's going to spread rain across California later in the week. So as we end the week, Wednesday through Friday, we're going to see high elevation mountain snow in the Sierra Nevadas, and we're going to see bouts of gusty winds as we have that strong onshore flow. We're going to see that moisture, but we don't see a full atmospheric river here, but most of the heavy moisture, the deeper moisture will be offshore, but we're going to get just enough moisture inland to produce some rain along the western slopes of the mountains from Southern California all the way up to the Oregon and California border. So some rainfall for SoCal and California. So finally, as we officially enter the rainy season for California. So we're going to move to the Midwest now, where we're going to see a nice warm up, especially during the middle part of the week. We have a ridge across the center of the country, of the continent right now. That nice ridge is going to bring up some much warm air from the south. So a nice warm weather pattern across the upper Midwest. This includes parts of Montana, Wyoming, North and South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Iowa, and Nebraska. So the upper Midwest, the Midwest here, the Corn Belt, parts of the Wheat Belt, we're going to see very nice weather for this week with those temperatures as warm as the 60s in Minneapolis, but we're going to see some 70s further down to the south with that as well. So to the east now. So as we head to the northeast, it's going to be cool and chilly. An offshore flow is going to be bringing that colder air down out of Canada. The good news is going to be dry for the most part. No rainfall expected as we head to the mid part of the week. We might see a few showers across the border through Ontario and into Quebec. That might be some rain, maybe a little rain and snow mix over in that way. But that warm air is going to eventually spread from the Midwest into the Northeast. So as we get to the middle part of the week, you're going to continue with the cool weather in New England, but we're warming up across the Great Lakes down through the Ohio Valley as that warm air starts to intrude, but it's going to eventually move that high pressure off the coast and out to sea, and that warm air is going to invade that area. That we see by Wednesday through Thursday, we're going to see that warmer air expand, being those 50s and 60s and 70s into the Northeast and New England. That ridge will shift to the Great Lakes, so we're going to see that warming trend expand into the Northeast to round out nearly the end of the week. So let's take a look down south. So down the coastline there, 95 to I-10 there in the deep south, we're going to see that area of low pressure off the coast, but it's going to ride along the coastline of the Gulf of Mexico and the southern U.S., and that's going to spread heavy rain from Florida down through Georgia, all the way across to New Orleans and Louisiana. So we're going to see that rain from New Orleans to Jacksonville, where we can pick up several inches of rain. And this is, again, much needed rainfall, as it has been rather dry and they're kind of in drought situations. So we're going to see that drought relief. The bad news is localized flooding can happen, and there will be travel disruptions as far as highway travel. I don't think it's going to affect the airports. We're not expecting severe weather. We're not expecting any wintry precipitation. This is a very warm, moist scenario. So driving, road flooding could cause issues and travel delays as far as that is concerned. So as we take a look now, our storm across the Gulf Coast will cross Florida, back out into the Atlantic, and then take that hard left up the East Coast, kind of becomes sort of a nor'easter. But we have that cold front that's coming off of the mainland U.S. We're going to see that cold front extending from Canada all the way down to the deep south to Louisiana. And that cold front is going to impact the tropical moisture that's currently along the Gulf Stream area. So the off the East Coast, that is going to be shoved a little bit further out to sea. So we're not going to see much impact of the deeper tropical moisture, but we will see some rain and wind along the East Coast as we kind of get a nor'easter developing there. But we're going to see that northeasterly wind in the northeast as that low pressure down to the south that you can see there will eventually end up in New England, and that's going to spread that rain. We can see heavy rain and gusty winds as we have a sort of moderate type, moderate nor'easter. Not going to be the strongest, but we will see some wet weather again this weekend. We had a nice break from the repeated rounds of rainfall across the Northeast on the weekends. We had a break, but the rain is going to be back this weekend. So Friday through Saturday night, we're going to see that wet weather from that nor'easter across New England. So here is your travel forecast, November 21st, November 22nd. So a sneak peek. This is not set in stone. And we're going to see it nice and dry down to the southwest. So we're going to see that nice weather across the southwest and the south central United States. Going to be a little bit cold across the northern tier. We're going to see rain and snow, cold weather along the Canadian border states. So from Oregon and Washington all the way across to Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, we can see some rain and snow. We can see snow in Minneapolis on Thanksgiving Day. Not happy about that. I am not happy about that at all. So the worst weather always seems to be do this where we're going to see it nice everywhere else when the weather gets bad here. So nice weather, southwest, snow and rain across the north. We're going to see rain in the east as well, the 21st, the 22nd. We're going to see it warm across Florida, but we're going to see rain in New England, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Ohio Valley, in the southeast, and parts of the Gulf Coast, the eastern Gulf Coast, primarily Florida as well on your Thanksgiving travel forecast. So, expect travel delays on Thanksgiving like we always do. Now, here is your travel holiday travel forecast Tuesday and Wednesday as you head out to wherever you're going for Thanksgiving. The areas in the green, you're going to have no problems. The yellow is going to be fair. Might be some delays, but for the most part, you're going to be okay. The little area in the red, as you can see there, eastern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and um, the the upper peninsula of Michigan, you see that red? That's going to be snow. So there will definitely be travel delays in that area. So, again, not cool, man, to have those travel delays, okay? So that was a look at your weather forecast for the remainder of this week and a sneak peek at the holiday forecast. I'm pretty sure that's going to change between now and then, and I hope that changes drastically to remove that snow from the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes area. I don't want to see that here, and we're not going anywhere. We're staying home, but we do have plans for that day, but we're not traveling. We're traveling for Christmas. That is where we hope the weather pans out for us for Christmas. So anyway, thank you for watching me, guys. Leave your likes, your comments, subscribe to the channel, and I appreciate your support through this endeavor that I've been working while I'm in school, furthering my education and my degrees that I'm working on, because I'm working on a double major. And I plan on getting 2 master's degrees and eventually a PhD as well. So I'm going to be in school for a long time to come. Well, so anyway, thank you for your support as we work on this endeavor together, and I share with you how we're doing here. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow in the next video. Have a good day. Bye-bye.